And ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to this very, very important segment, the travel updates with Tanvi Goel of Oz India Travels. Well, today, and this week, ever since we started 28 weeks ago, so this is episode 28, and now it is very, very important, today's episode, because of the situation in India. And everyone is very worried, and there's a lot of confusion, and none other than Tanvi to explain to us what it's all about. So Tanvi, welcome to the 28th episode, and I must take my hats off to you, been very consistent and not missed one. So 28 weeks in a row without missing any of the episodes. So wonderful to see that. Right now, what are the main updates for this week?
First of all, thank you, Miss, and thank you, everyone, such an overwhelming response and believing in us and trusting us and sending us all your questions. Today, we're definitely going to go through all the very, very important topics, especially about India. It's really very hard to see what's happening in India, but we all have to do the best we can and be a really responsible person. So before we go ahead, I'd like to inform you all that any topic we discussed today are general information only. As we know, the situation is changing every single day. So please keep yourself updated because it may change, individual cases may change as well. So just keep yourself updated. So guys, the very, very important topic, as I said, India to Australia and Australia to India. So we'll talk about who can go to India now from Australia. So all the Indian citizens, except permanent residents, can go without any issues. And you can just take a flight simply like you used to take before. We have Emirates flights and we have some charters also going, which we will discuss a little bit later. But first of all, it's really important to know that who can go, so that Indian citizens who are not permanent residents or you can say the temporary residents or students, there is one more clause which I heard from some passengers there are some permanent residents who are Indian citizens and they are allowed to go. Seems if they have stayed more in India than here, then you can always call Home Affairs to check whether you are eligible to go. But there are very less number of people who are permanent residents can go to India. So please check that. And also those who had exemption previously and eligible to go, Australian citizens and PR. I think you all probably know, in case you don't, that all the applications have been revoked last week, and which means you cannot go. Also, I want to recommend you all that, please don't get panic. You might see that some people have exemptions and their online status is still under pending. So if that's pending, then please wait for it. Just don't book your flight straight away, because if you have received email that it's revoked and if you're still in citizen PR, then automatically it's cancelled. So as I said, there are very few applications who can be reviewed again. But most of the people cannot go from India except Australian citizens. And if also you have booked any of those flights, you can always cancel it. If you have booked any of the charter flights from Australia, as we mentioned before as well, that those flights are non-refundable, non-changeable. But we are negotiating with the charter companies to give you option in future, or maybe give you option to cancel those flights. So if you have booked any of the charter flights, please send us email. We are already contacting everyone who booked through us. And if you have booked through any of the charter companies, you can contact them and see what they can do. As everyone is going through this difficult situation, but they are definitely trying their best to, get you the best possible option. Now, also from India to Australia, what's happening now? Then if you heard the news came up just yesterday, so you must have seen the news. National Cabinet has suspended all flights from India until 15th of May, and new schedules with revised caps will be announced in May end, which means for another 3 to 4 weeks, you won't be able to come from India to Australia. Hence, all the flights are rescheduled. So please note, those who have booked as well flights from India to Australia, your price may vary based on the caps, because there are, reduction in the caps. So they might increase the prices as well. And definitely those who have booked, they will be given priority to book those flights. So At this stage, the 30th of April charter from India, 5th of May, 7th of May, and 14th of May has been cancelled already. So next available is 19th of May. But yes, please remember that you can't come for 3 weeks, but you still have options to book, which I'll go through a bit later. But yeah, at this stage, no one can come from India. And after that, guys, let's go through the other updates which we have. There are some good news, some little bit sad news. But yes, this is a time which, we have to definitely, pass. So next up is the Queensland government has extended its holidays dollars travel voucher. Which we discussed, a few weeks back as well, that we have some Queensland vouchers coming up. So they have, the move will see another 36,000 vouchers made available for visitors to both destinations, and that's driving an approximate $25 million into visitor spend for the state tourism industry. So if you have not taken the voucher yet, you might try and take them again, and that's scheme to Brisbane and Whitsundays. So please go through those. You can find all the information on Queensland Government Tourism website. And next up from Jetstar. So Jetstar Airways has announced flight between Cairns and Newcastle, and the only direct link between two cities. The airlines will operate the service from 23rd of June. Yes, there is quite a while for those flights to start. And with these 3 weekly flights to provide around 6,000 seats for a month. So there will be a direct flight from Cairns to Newcastle from June onwards. And next up is guys from New Zealand, as we all are so excited, and it's really great to see that so many people are flying these days. But if you are from Western Australia, and then Western Australia is on temporary hold at the moment, and between both the countries, the travel bubble, if you know, was started 19th of April, but this is the very first time they have put pause on some state, as we already know that there are the lockdown and things happening in Western Australia. So it's paused at this stage until further notice. But yes, people from other states, you can still go, and there is no problem about that. Those who are flying from other states to New Zealand, please make sure that you fill the New Zealand travel declaration form before you depart, that you can get at www.naumaira.covid19.govt.nz. We can send you that link as well. So that is very, very important that you fill that form. And face masks is mandatory at the airport and also on the flights. And you can, if you're going with Qantas or Jetstar or other flights, you can always check their websites as well if they have any other rules in place. But yeah, at this stage, the New Zealand travel declaration form is mandatory, and also the face masks are important. So guys, I got another really exciting news. And that after Australia and New Zealand bubble, there is another couple of countries who are planning to launch another travel bubble and quarantine-free entries, and that one this time is Hong Kong and Singapore. So they are set to launch the quarantine-free entry after a very, very long delay. Earlier they were planning to start in November, but there were again so many cases in Hong Kong, and now they are planning and all set to start on 26th of May, which is not too far, hardly a month from now. So, these options are definitely going to start. And here I would like to show you a little video which will definitely excite you, and you'll have a bit of glimpse of both the countries. So here it is.
兩地嘅專屬航班咧，5月26號星期三咧係可以啟航。此外咧，亦都因應疫情嘅最新發展咧，包括有啲即係變種基因嘅病毒出現啦，同埋呢啲病毒咧有較為長嘅潛伏期啦，所以我哋覺得有必要喺呢個安排之下咧，設立一啲額外嘅保障。我哋都會藉呢個機會咧，鼓勵香港嘅市民咧，係透過呢個安排出行嘅時候咧，先係要完成接種疫苗，保護自己。
Okay, so guys, as you see, that all airlines and the team is all set to welcome you between Hong Kong and Singapore. So Cathay Pacific said its services on the road would be operated by pilots and crew who have been fully vaccinated. So you will be definitely very safe, and you can go and travel with the confidence. And the travelers from Hong Kong age over 16 must also be fully vaccinated to qualify for this flight. So please make sure, if you haven't taken your vaccinations yet, you definitely need that. And while the Singapore-based passenger must have COVID-19 test before departure and also on arrival. So there are different conditions for those who are flying from Hong Kong and also those who are flying from Singapore. So please keep checking that. Check that before you fly. And next up, guys, is for travel pass, which we always discuss. Like it's, I think, being 4 or 5 weeks, we have been telling you all the updates about IATA travel pass. So we got another update this week as well. So IATA linked with 2 labs this time. So the International Air Transport Association, IATA, has made a strong ground this week into bid to shore up the usage of its digital travel pass, linking 2 agreements with the labs to carry out COVID testing for travelers. A deal has been forged with the Eurofins, a company that offers 800 laboratories across 50 countries for link testing, as well as global Unilabs, which will perform antigen and serology tests for the travel pass app. So there are so many things happening, and definitely, it's really a great start and great initiative for, taken by IATA to put all of us in a very safe place. We'll come back to you with more updates because there's a lot more things happening. Next up from Qatar Airways. So Qatar Airways roll out a UV tag. So Qatar Airways has introduced the latest version of Honeywell ultraviolet cabin disinfection technology on its jets. So you can see there are so many technologies also coming in place. The newest version adds extended UV wings that treat both narrow and wide areas on board, reducing the overall disinfection time. This version also includes a handband that disinfects areas such as cockpit, the other smaller spaces, and also non-motorized spaces. All 17 units have been undergone comprehensive testing on board of Qatar aircraft, with the airlines aiming to operate them at Doha very, very soon. So, guys, this is another very, very fantastic news. And it's started by Qatar Airways, and we are sure that other airlines will be following that as well. So, it's really good to see that all airlines are, just investing a lot of money, energy, and, and looking for the options. So we all are safe and, are ready for a new normal. And next update is from Thailand. So Thailand is also preparing to welcome us all very, very soon. So the Tourism Authority of Thailand has launched the entry. So Thailand Digital Platform as a first step towards reopening the country to vaccinated tourists. At this stage, the new site enables travelers to apply for a shortened quarantine period based on the vaccination status. That can be from 10 days to 7 days. Users must complete a 6-step process to apply for their travel concession, including registering a certificate of entry, flight details, quarantine hotel booking, prior to proof of the COVID travel insurance policy. It will also hope as the risk of COVID declines globally, and the platform will be able to facilitate international arrivals with less conditions. So very soon, hopefully everything will be in place. But that's really a fantastic idea, taken by the Thailand government to, start everything opening, ready to, open everything. And they have some conditions in place, but they are definitely for good, and once everything opens up, then there'll be less conditions. So that's really fantastic news. Next up, we got update from Japan Airlines. I think Japan Airlines really going famous because there are so many people coming from India with Japan Airlines as well, but definitely that's on hold. But we have Japan Airlines update that we have got with the Russian. Japan Airlines has launched new non-stop services between Tokyo, Haneda, and Moscow, leaving a route which was first operated in 1967. So you can imagine that was over 50 years ago, which they are planning to resume. The carrier said the opening of direct flights would allow passengers to make convenient and comfortable connections, not only Russia and Europe, but also to a number of destinations in Japan, Asia, and Oceania. So they are trying to connect with all, which is really amazing. So these are the main updates for this week. There are a lot more things which needs to be discussed, and we will definitely, add on many things for next week. And if you have more questions or you want us to include different countries, we're definitely happy to add that. So these are the main updates to me.
Thank you very much, Tanvi, for all that update, and we really hope that the situation in India, improves and improves quickly, and it's good to see the international community coming to help and aid. And as you have mentioned, that there's so much that's to be discussed, but we need to remain relevant to the topic and to the show that we are hosting. So right now, that was quite an in-depth knowledge of everything there, and some quite exciting improvements that's going to be happen, and some routes that will be reopened, which is quite good. So right now from Brisbane, under the current circumstances, what flight options do we have now?
Okay, so guys, we have options from Brisbane. Still the flights are going as normal, like it was operating last week or before that. And the only thing, only Australian Indian citizens can fly this time, not PR or citizens, but Indian citizens on temporary visas can fly at this stage. But we have Emirates flights flying as usual every Friday from here with one stop. Generally, they have around 16 hours halt if you went to different cities. For Delhi, we have 4.5 hours options still available. And if you want to go any other days, the options are still there. You can pretty much fly every couple of days from Brisbane via Melbourne or Sydney with Emirates flights. Or if you want to go in any of the charters, you have someone in Melbourne and Sydney, you want to visit them and take flight from there directly, and then charters is still available. And charters available right now are 15th of May, 22nd of May, 20th of May and 29th of May. So there are 4 charters still available to go from here. But I would highly recommend anyone who are flying in these circumstances to best to take Emirates flight from Brisbane. But yeah, there are flights and without any issues. Still the lounge facilities are there, hotel facilities are there. It's all normal as usual from Brisbane.
So Emirates still remains the best option, which is quite good, and it's good to see that the options are still open. Okay, so we have got Brisbane covered right now. We'll have to go to Sydney, and let's take a look at what options are available from Sydney.
So from Sydney also, guys, all the Indian citizens can still fly without any issues. We have Emirates flies every Tuesdays with one stop, and also Thursday or Saturdays we have combinations. And if you want to fly on charter, we have still one charter available from Sydney, that's on 20th of May. So as usual, there is no problem with Sydney. You can still fly without any issues.
So Sydney is good to go, which is good to see. Well, right now, what we always smile about is Melbourne. So what's happening with lucky Melbourne?
So Melbourne, you still have 3 charters available. In fact, one of the charters all set to fly tomorrow. There are some people who had to back out because of the exemption revoked. But yeah, the charter is still operating without any issues on 30th of April. Then we have 3 more charters scheduled from Melbourne to Delhi and connecting to 4 cities in India. So 15th of May, 22nd of May, 29th of May. And if you want to have more flexible options or want to fly on either dates, we have Emirates flight, at least 2 to 3 connection in a week. So there is no problem for you to fly from Melbourne at this stage.
So Melbourne too is good to go, and it is good to see that's what's happening at this point in time. But as mentioned before, that people will need to make sure that they have all those documents that we talked about, or maybe you'll talk about that later on in the update section there as well. Right now, going to South Australia, what's happening from Adelaide? So any options from there at all?
So from Adelaide as well, we have 2-3 options to fly from Adelaide a week. That's with Emirates flight. And if you want to go with the charter flights, that's also available via Melbourne in May. But definitely, I would recommend you guys to take Emirates flight if you need to go. Flights are there and there is no problem from Adelaide as well.
Adelaide's good to go. And what about Perth? So in Western Australia, what's the situation there?
The same. We have at least 2 flights a week from Perth, which you can take to India. And just remember, only Indian citizens can take it. And if you want to go in charters, we can connect the charters from Melbourne as well. So yes, we have flights from all the main cities in Australia and all set to go from Australia right now. But guys, I would really highly recommend you. It's really important for you to go. Then better to go as soon as possible, because as you can see, the situation right now is that flights are not coming from India, and these flights are going with very less number of passengers. So we have to see how long airlines can really survive and take those flights, because it's definitely a loss for them. So if it's important for you to go, then better to go as soon as possible next couple of weeks, because we don't know what can happen after that. So yeah, definitely good to go as soon as possible.
And that is a very good tip that you have said there, that no one knows what's going to happen. So, if you really have to do it, and do it now. Well, right now, so if we're looking at, you've touched a little bit on that, but maybe a burning question that everyone has now is, what about any update from India to Australia?
Okay. So as I mentioned before, guys, from India, the flights are suspended up till 15th of May. And also caps will be revised at the end of next month. So there may be, the charter is still scheduled. So 19th of May and 21st of May is still scheduled, and all set to come on the same time. But again, it depends on government if they extend the ban for a bit longer. So we are assuming there will be announcement maybe around 10 to 12th of May that whether the ban is going to be extended or it's going to be the same. If same, then airlines and charters are all set to fly. And so 19th or 21st, as I said, is already available. And those 4 charters who were, cancelled from 30th of May till 14th of May, as per the airlines, they are planning to reschedule as well just after 15th of May. So maybe 17th, 18th, 19th, and up to 25th of May. So I would say if you want to fly on those days, because right now, the demand is very, very high and supply is very, very less. So those who send the expression of interest, those who have already booked will be prioritized. So if you want to come on those dates, we have option where we can make it open for you. And we keep watching for you that, which airlines is coming faster, which charter has more options. So if you really want to book, then you can send us your details, and we are happy to, keep in records and keep you updated that when and where you can come. So, at this stage it's on hold, but yeah, we're expecting things to open up in next 3 weeks from India.
And I really hope that it does open up, and of course that the situation also improves in India as well. So at this point in time, with so much that's happening, so what are your updates in troubling tips, like what should people be mindful of, be vigilant about under the current circumstances in this point in time?
So guys, my first piece of advice would be, please check if you have already booked your flights, whether they are cancelled. Even from India as well, some people think that, their flights are in late May and probably they are not cancelled. So please don't assume anything yourself. Just check whether your flight is cancelled or not, and plan and think what you need to do after that. There are some charters who are giving you option to refund your money. So you can start, thinking of refunding your money, or you can think of rescheduling your money. So you have to plan according to that. Second is, I also got calls from some citizens with PR from Australia in last few days who are saying, just book us, if we are booked, then maybe government can let us go. Please remember that this is, this is already taken by government, not specific, and it's not gonna make any difference if you book make the booking if not done yet. So it's not the good time that you book for for the next few weeks, especially from India and from Australia, and if you're a citizen of PR. So please hold on to book at this stage and see how situation goes. As soon as everything opens, you can once again send us your expression of interest and tell us which date you want to fly. We'll have everything in record and update you as per your situation. And please always check all the state's rules and regulations as well. Even if you are flying interstate, this point of time, because as you know, Western Australia already closed, and we had some passenger luckily could come back before the lockdown started. They didn't have to do a quarantine again. But if you were there in that particular time, you might have to do a quarantine again. So please check all those rules and regulations. and avoid going to the places where there are the COVID situation, because, especially those who are in Queensland, the government is very, very strict and you might have to do a quarantine again. And those who are flying from Australia to India, those Indian citizens, please remember all other, the forms are still the same. You still have to do a COVID test 72 hours before departure. You still have to fill that self-declaration form and have the, printed copies with you and have that printed COVID test with you. So all these rules and regulations still same for you. You still have to do that. And if you have got infants with you, then infant situation is same. However, we recommend not to carry infants to India at this stage because the situation is really very critical, and sometimes the kids feel sick, and when they reach to the airport, they ask you to do a COVID test again. And in fact, when you're flying from here, if you think you are not feeling well, you can always call us and change your date, especially if you are flying with Emirates. It's a good idea to change your date rather than flying when you're sick, because airlines can stop you if you're not feeling well, even if you are coughing and little symptoms you have, even because of changing weather and all, still they won't let you fly. So please keep these all things in mind. And very, very important, please don't panic. This is a time, we all have to be together. It's I would say, the humanity test that, how as a human we are coming together and helping each other. So it's not a time for any panic, so I know, it's a panic situation. All I'm trying to say is let's share just all the happiness, all the good things we have, rather than just throwing all the negative stuff around. And also, guys, remember, if you have full DFET flights as well, same DFET in Air India has cancelled a lot of flights from India to Australia, as they have to reduce at least 30% capacity. So just check those flights as well if you want to get the refund. This is the best time to do that. And send us expression of interest. If you are planning to fly now or after, we have the system and if you have any questions, just feel free to call us. Don't just feel that you are alone and there is no one to answer. No, there is a team who is sitting here, right here, to help you and give you answer of every single question you may have. You can go through our last 27 episodes as well. And you can just, write on this particular episode that whatever questions you have, and we can, answer you offline a bit later. You can email us on my email ID, maybe tanvi@ausindiatravel.com.au, or you can message on our Facebook. You can jump on our website, which is www.ausindiatravel.com.au. We have local numbers as well for Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Or you can just, message us or call us on our hotline, which is 040-440-3264. So all these, team is there to assist you to answer any of your questions. So please don't worry about that. You are still good to go and fly all around Australia and New Zealand, which is a good news. So let's just spread the positivity all around and stay healthy and safe, and send us any questions you may have. I hope it really gives you a bit of information. If you liked it, please share with your family and friends. You can find all these episodes on Australian Indian Radio, Brisbane Indian Times, Gentex Media, Aus India Travel Facebook page, all social media channels. And yes, just let us know if you need any help. Always happy to help.
Thank you very much, Tanvi, for that update and those very timely tips. And it is very important, as you have mentioned, that people remain positive. And of course, at this point in time, all everyone can do probably is to try and see if they can assist in the situation in any which way. As the old saying, guys, do not kick anyone when he or she is down. Even your own kid, if he's running and falls down, rather than scolding when he or she is fallen down, you pick them up, make sure they're okay. Then you say, look, you did this and that's why you fell down. So the good old saying that don't kick anyone when they're down still remains very relevant today. So we should not do that. We should, people have all sorts of views, what should have happened, this and that, that's fine. What's happened. What can we do now? How can we add to the situation to make it a little bit better? What way can we contribute? That's about all we can do at this point in time. The cross-examining or, looking at the situation can all be done afterward. But the call for the moment is to help and support, and one best way to do that is maybe lobbying our respective governments, because they can get things there faster than any small community organizations. Of course, every little bit helps. Don't get me wrong, every little bit helps. Whoever can assist in whichever way, directly or indirectly, that's all good as well. But at this point in time, governments have got the capabilities of airlifting, and our request has been with the Australian government. We were on a Zoom meeting yesterday, was that to provide as much help as they can and as soon as they can. So there's many other governments of many countries who have pledged their support. So that's all we can do at this point in time. So once again, thank you so much. And as you have mentioned, that all the previous episodes are there, and for ease of searching those, and this is a feedback I've got from people, the ease of searching is they find it easier to search all the episodes on YouTube. In Facebook they're there as well, but they got to scroll through a lot of things to find each and every episodes, but it's a lot easier and more categorized in YouTube. By the way, they store all the previous episodes. So that's a tip, and hoping for all the best, and thank you very much, and congratulations on completing 28 episodes.
Thank you, everyone, and stay healthy and safe, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you.